We are located here in the center of Malaga, in the old town, known also as the historical part of Malaga. We have an apartment here, also known in a classical historical building, protected in areas of the windows and other issues inside. We had to go through a lot of building license and approval from the town hall in order to achieve the changes we requested inside and on the exterior. It's very legalized. And before we did find an apartment, very dark, very old, with low ceilings. We had high ceilings of 230, which is very low. It's an average for a modern apartment. But today it's in the old classical town, 320 like we have now, it's much better. We had all doors, dark doors. We had narrow, small rooms. Everything was dark and claustrophobic, narrow, which made it not really have an open space like we have now, like you can see. It might seem incredible, but when we're standing right now at the same entrance of what we had of the old kitchen. The old kitchen we had here on the right hand side behind us, and this was the living room and was the entrance. Now we're standing in a much more open space, which gives more open space of the kitchen. There's no walls in between. The hallway is much more wider. As we can see here, we can see we have the entrance door, the kitchen, the living room, and a very narrow hallway to the bedrooms and so. It made a claustrophobic impression, especially the space which was not really used and all the walls that are in between. What we have created here was a much more open space, the living room, the kitchen included, and with a bathroom that really makes it a very practical area and an open space instead of having two spaces that are much more narrow and you cannot really use very much. That's why the kitchen has to fit in the harmony of the whole area. Has to be a discreet kitchen, has to be a modern kitchen with issues that fit into the whole living room and the living area. A very important issue, if you take a look at the floor, how it's being laid, we always have the same floor, the same combination, the same colors. We see the space opens here, we have to open here in order to give the same layout as the walls. Gives a very important and majestic impression. Same also if you combine here the finish, you have a straight, totally straight line. You have nothing that sticks out against the dust and against furniture that you want to put against the wall. As you can see here, when we open and close the door, the details of it comes incrustated. You don't see it from the outside, nor from the inside. When you close the door, silence. It's closed by magnetic instead of having a classical that entrance makes noise. It closes very soft and smooth. And also the finish of the door is exactly the same finish as on the main entrance, which is white on the inside and the community color brown on the outside. In regards to the windows, we did apply for a building license to be able to change from the original stage to these ones here. The difference is on the lower part of the windows it's closed, it's in wood, and we did apply that we could have it open and in glass in order to get more brightness into the home. As it's dark inside, we needed to get all the possible light inside. When taking a look here into the marble floor, we see we have various differences in the corners because the exterior walls are not 100%, 90 corners are 180 degrees. So we have to be, as we have on both sides of the floor, we have the same width on the perimeter. And that's why here at the end, it looks a strange corner. It's not a 90 degrees angle. It's because the walls, we had to adapt to the original walls. Certain walls we could exchange, but others we had to maintain. We have sliding doors, which are very discreet. You see nothing. Suddenly, we have the door here inside the wall, hidden, very discreet, very modern. By opening a door, we get to the effect of closing the door. Very discreet, the door is open and it's closed. Nothing is in between. What we've done here in the bathrooms, or let's call it the whole wet area, because the kitchen we have really next door, we have waterproofed the whole wet area completely. The whole floor has been waterproofed from the beginning till the end. In case of a drainage water here, everything would go directly out to the terrace. We have given an air ventilation to each toilet unit, but also the sinks and the showers. So we have 4 exits from each bathroom, this one and the one next door, and the kitchen ones, directly ventilation to the exterior. From the original drainages from the bathrooms, from the building are not isolated, we have isolated both ones, this one and the one in the living room, to avoid noise that comes from water falls down from the toilet, flashing from the neighbors above. This means we have a quiet room, an isolated area. In order to be able to achieve this job, we had to apply for different building licenses. One was just for interior, one was for exterior, one was for the windows. And in order to achieve the building license, the control for the windows, we had to go through many different controls. We had to have several meetings with architects from the town hall, together with our architect. We had to see in which way we can make certain changes. Because we are in the center of the historical area, we wanted to have a change, but also having glass on the lower part. These had to go through different approvals and controls. The problem is, if you work on the so-called black market and you don't have everything legalized, then you can have serious consequences. But everything, you have your building license and you legalized personnel, nothing can happen.